A very good evening. This is National EMTV News. I'm Malinta Yopolo. Thank you for joining us. According to National Cancer Service in PNG, cancer is the leading cause of death worldwide. Every minute, 40 people are diagnosed with cancer.
According to projections by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, the number of annual cancer cases could rise to 35 million by 2050, a 77% increase since 2022. It has shown that 40% are diagnosed with cancer every minute globally. The National Cancer Service in PNG is calling on individuals and groups to make a difference in their communities by educating the people on the prevention measures of the different type of cancers, talk to them on the early detection of cancer, and also to share personal experiences to humanize cancer care. According to the National Cancer Services, such awareness for prevention, early diagnosis, and improved treatments can save millions of lives. Domestically, in 2022, a total of 105 million kina has been allocated to National Cancer Center to upgrade its facilities and equipment. Of the 105 million kina, Prime Minister Marape said 50 million kina for the third phase of construction, 38 million kina for cancer equipment, and 17 million kina for brachytherapy. In regards to a report from the World Health Organization, cancer remains a public health issue of major concern in Papua New Guinea. WHO estimates that there were 7,200 cancer deaths and 12,190 new cancer cases in 2022. The risk of dying from cancer before the age of 75 is estimated at 12%. The top three leading cancer, ranked by death for males, are liver, lung, and prostate. Among females, the top cancers are breast, cervical-uterine, and liver. According to WHO, if no significant actions are taken, cancer deaths and new cases are estimated to rise to 16,400 and 26,300 respectively by 2045. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
The ongoing dispute over the appointment of the Papua New Guinea Defense Force Chief of Staff was brought before the National Court today for a directions hearing.
The case was heard by Judge Justice Oagile Dinganke at the Waigani National Court of Justice. It was clarified in court that there are two separate judicial reviews brought by the two former Chief of Staffs, Gilbert Toropo and Mark Goina respectively. Toropo challenges his revocation in 2021 by the National Executive Council, who said he had reached the retirement age of 60, 6 months before his contract expired. He was replaced by Goina. After the court, here's what the National Executive Council's lawyer, Paul Oates, had to say.
Toropo's case is challenging the appointment of Goina. And now when that is going on, now Goina has been replaced by Polwara. Now Goina is challenging Goina's appointment. Polwara's appointment. So I don't know that this will have a chain effect on each of the appointments, but we still maintaining that there are separate appointments, separate revocation of appointments. That's the position of the NEC and the state. So one does not affect the other. We will come to resolve all of these issues on the 3rd of March with the man. That's it, so
Prior to that, Goina was then suspended due to the Kupiano incident and later replaced by Rear Admiral Philip Polewara in November last year. Goina had been appointed as the Chief of Defense Force in 2021, succeeding former Army Commander Gilbert Toropo. Toropo was removed from the position by NEC on the grounds that he had reached the retirement age and was replaced by Goina. Polewara is now the 7th and 5th respondent in Toropo and Goina's cases respectively. The case is now adjourned to March 3rd, 2025 for further directions. James Guken, National EMTV News.
The member for Iri Koyari, Kit Idihu, has called for an immediate stop to the Connect PNG program following the brutal murder of 23-year-old Margaret Gamaru Gabriel in Port Moresby.
He called on the government to prioritize a nationwide repatriation initiative to combat growing crime and social unrest in urban areas. In a separate statement, the Minister for Police, Peter Chamalili Jr., condemned the recent rape and murder of a woman near Watermark Estate, emphasizing that such violence is an attack on the safety of the nation. He assured that law enforcement would track down the perpetrators and hold them accountable. The minister also called for public cooperation in the investigation and stressed the importance of tackling gender-based violence and crime. Both leaders called for unified action from government officials across Central Province and the National Capital District to address lawlessness and restore security. Idihu emphasized the need for urgent measures to prevent further violence and ensure public safety. James Guken, National EMTV News.
The police minister and regional member for Bougainville, Peter Chamalili Jr., is calling for immediate surrender on those who were involved in the shootout on the police officers in Mendi, Southern Highlands Province.
The police minister said he is deeply saddened to address the tragic loss of the two brave police officers, Constable Harry Gorano and Constable Noah Biape, who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. He said their dedication to saving and protecting the communities will forever be remembered. Constable Gorano succumbed to injuries sustained from a violent ambush in Mendi, while Constable Biabe was killed during the same incident. Both officers were esteemed members of the SSD Mobile Squad 11 based in Wabek and hailed from Goroka. He has extended his heartfelt condolences to the families of both officers during this incredible difficult time. Chamalili Jr. is calling for immediate surrender of the suspects responsible for those horrific acts. He urged the community leaders, including the local member Honorable Rafael Tonpi and Governor for Southern Highlands William Powie, to take responsibility in this matter and assist police in identifying and apprehending those responsible. He advised the relatives of the fallen officers to respect the ongoing investigations and support the law enforcement personnel as they work diligently to bring those responsible to justice. Chamalili is also calling on the police commissioner to also look into the trauma care to better support officers who faced dangers while fulfilling their duties, as their well-being is paramount. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
The National Court ruled in favor of Anderson Kujali on Thursday, 13 February 2025, affirming his position as chairman of the Manananda Landowners Association.
The court dismissed a challenge to Kujali's appointment filed by Kopo Pepe, effectively ending a 2-year dispute. Kujali expressed gratitude for the ruling, stating it allows the association to move forward and represent the interests of the rightful landowners of PDL2.
Now I'm that time looking for some code them no standing. So code them looking for some code them no one meso or less large them wasting time long everybody. That's why I'm called them ballot and I'm dismissing this case blomibla. So dismissing case now from after dismissing my case always 283 of 2023 or dismissing. So now all declare me or some new elected the chairman blow Malanda.
Kujali's lawyer Martin Combri emphasized that the court ruling brought an end to delays caused by the tactics aimed at prolonging the dispute.
And they even did not file anything and were not ready for trial. The judge saw that it was a delay tactic and he gave those orders. And to save their faces, they went and withdrew the proceedings. This effectively means that even though there was no stay order, everyone respected the court process and waited, and Anderson Kujali and his team did not assume offices yet. As of yesterday, he assumed office. When the proceedings were dismissed, He's now effectively in office.
Deputy Chairman Jackson Moyali called on all beneficiaries to cooperate and ensure equitable sharing of benefits from the PDL2 project.
Ino kubla lo ushat baligla ko dimi ko election ne moldigla dim piniso samen chamet lo mi e wobla man ba go pas na yumi ko ta ba stab so so do monda yumi no plan di land o ko ta you say stab yumi ba stab wondem na yumi work boom wondem na yumi lulum forward lo narabla one sandin ba mixing benefit lo gen em ta sol mi sodim na mi gim to doglo lo mi to thank you 1 second lo mi Mr. Kumbri.
Chairman Kujali concluded with a call for development partners to collaborate with the landowners to effectively deliver services and ensure all beneficiaries receive their entitled benefits. James Guken, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister James Marape has outlined an ambitious 20-year vision for Papua New Guinea correctional services, emphasizing discipline, rehabilitation, and economic contribution through vocational training. PM Marape said PNG Correctional Services is not just about imprisonments, but correction and rehabilitation. Therefore, inmates must be equipped with skills so they can return to society as productive citizens. PM stressed that every correctional institution must have a fully operational vocational training program, ensuring that inmates gain valuable skills. He noted that skilled inmates such as lawyers, accountants, and teachers must be utilized productively within the system. To improve prison security and efficiency, the government is considering the implementation of biometric technology, including fingerprints and facial recognition systems, to monitor and track inmates. PM Marape further called on PNGCS to work towards a transformative correctional system that will define PNG's future by 2045. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Start your day the smart way with the new Smart Start Breakfast Biscuit. Whether you are busy or on a budget, Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits gives you a healthy and affordable breakfast to set you up for school or play. Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits are fortified with essential vitamins for body or brain health. They contain vitamin A for healthy growth and development, vitamin B6 for healthy metabolism, immune system and brain development, and vitamin B12 for nerve and cell health. Proudly made by Paradise Foods.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves a chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Now chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus we're ready to go.
Mipla Halivim Wari Belong You.
It's time to go back to school. Is this the place to go? Please don't forget the golden rule. Is this the place to go? Hey, moms and dads, don't make a fuss. Is this the place to go? Get the school supplies from us. Is this the place to go? Everything you need for school. Is this the place to go? Be sure to keep the teacher cool. Is this the place to go? Ring, ring goes the bell.
Theatist for all your school stationery. At IPI Catering, we understand the intricacies of the environments in which we work, providing innovative, fresh and creative catering solutions. Our experience and commitment is a winning combination, delivering great food anywhere and anytime. IPI Catering, part of the IPI group of companies.
There are existence of clandestine laboratories illicitly producing crystal meth.
Tonight at 7, we hold discussions with the National Narcotics Bureau.
That is being interdicted by the police in Port Moresby and Ley. So, as we are commonly saying, there is a growing consumer base that is developing.
That's on tonight.
You're watching National EMTV News. With Papua New Guinea approaching its 50th anniversary of independence, Minister for Coffee William Bando stressed that revitalizing the coffee industry is a national priority. This was said during the reopening of the Anego Coffee Factory in Kabufa of Eastern Highlands Province.
With Anego Coffee Factory back in operation, the sector is set for resurgence, empowering local farmers and strengthening PNG's position in the global coffee market. In his keynote address, Minister Bando reaffirmed the Maraperoso government's commitment to strengthening PNG's coffee sector, which directly supports over 450,000 to 500,000 households across the country. Minister Bando said coffee is not just an industry, it is a way of life for the people. It is the backbone of the country's economy, providing livelihoods for thousands of families.
We have to be serious, we got to be honest, and we have to empower. You mean empowering more people, but you mean you want something they're good at. Huh? Also planting coffee, you must empower more planting coffee. So these three provinces, three provinces, priority number one. And then you have some Lahaplo Morbe, some Lahaplo Oro, some Lahaplo Jimbo, yeah. And then you go places of Hela, Southern Highlands, Ega, and country, and people holding stuff here. Resources of people are running country stuff. And it is only proper and fair that some work for coffee too must come out of this land. Time all this resources you go down, coffee can correct that. This la cry for coffee, la work for coffee, and must come up for Orient. The people. People must get bell cry like coffee. I'm not going to give seedling seeds na seedling na technical offices. They copy too, sir. One day and when the guest you never run out. That's why CEO and management rightfully appointed Leo.
During the event, Minister Bando outlined several key government initiatives aimed at restoring and expanding the coffee sector, including 10 million Kina Price Support Initiative, the Green Gold Card Policy, and strengthening Eastern Highlands, Jiwaka, and Western Highlands Province as priority coffee-producing provinces, with increased government investment. He also urged cooperatives, exporters, and other industry stakeholders to uphold honesty, accountability, and effective management of funds to prevent misuse. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Trukai Industries, in partnership with the University of Technology, recently held its Trukai Smart Farmers Training, Batch 5 in Morobe Province.
The training, which ran from the 10th to the 14th of February 2025, focused on irrigated rice farming and covered 4 key modules: rice production, environment and irrigation, cultivation cycle, and farming business management. A total of 75 participants from Gu Group and Sangang parishes in Makam district attended. The training aims to equip farmers with knowledge to sustain their families and pass it down to the future generations. This initiative, the first of its kind in Makam district, reflects Trukai Industries' commitment to empowering farmers and reducing resilience on the rice imports. James Guken, National EMTV News.
With its inception in March 2023 and license to trade approved by the Bank of Papua New Guinea on the 24th of June 2024, the Mahogany Finance is one of the newest finance company to enter the finance and banking sphere.
A Papua New Guinea privately owned entity, Mahogany Finance, aims to challenge the current situation within the finance industry with the objective to foster competition and introduce fresh perspectives in the financial services market. This was further explained by Mr. Terry Hall, the CEO of Mahogany Finance.
A licensed financial institution which allows me to not only offer loan products to the general public but to also offer term deposits. Mahogany Finance was created because we did see that there was room for a lot of competition in the finance industry. Competition's been great, where we've seen a lot of previous finance companies move across into the banking space, which is providing great banking competition, and that left what we perceived was a market for us to come in and to challenge the status quo in the finance industry. What we aim to be is the preeminent finance company in Papua New Guinea, the finance company of choice for both borrowers and investors.
Mahogany Finance is the preeminent finance company in PNG, which offer innovative products that assist business to grow and increase profitability. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Following the concerns raised by Motu Koita people in regards to the Motu Koita Assembly election, the Office of the Provincial and Local Level Government has issued dates for the election.
The Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government and member for Kikori, Soroi Eoe, has issued the election dates for the Motu Koita election. The dates are as follows. The opening of wreaths will be on the 24th of April 2025 and closes on the 1st of May. Polling will start on the 21st of June. The days in between will be for campaigning. Counting will start on the 5th of July. As soon as the counting is completed, the return of wreaths will be on the 25th of July 2025. Meanwhile, the people of Motu Koita had petitioned the government last week on the couple of delays to the election. According to the chairman for Motu Koita Assembly, Dari Toko Jr. said the 750,000 kina that was allocated by National Capital District to Motu Koita to run their election is not enough, as the estimated budget for the election was around 7 million kina. The Motu Koita election initial dates was back in 2023 as per the chairman for Motu Koita Assembly. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
Steamships Trading Company and Laba Holdings Limited announced the formal establishment of Ebahamo Transport Limited, a dedicated landslide logistics company specializing in project cargo and heavy transport.
The joint venture, structured as 51% to 49 partnership with Laba Holdings, the majority stake, is now operational and positioned to play a key role in the downstream construction phase of the Papua LNG project. Ebahamo Transport Limited was formed to provide specialized transport solutions for major resource projects, ensuring the safe, efficient and cost-effective movement of materials and equipment. With the Papua LNG project entering its critical construction phase, the demand for reliable logistics services has never been greater. Ebahamo is positioned to meet this demand by combining steamships' industry-leading expertise and infrastructure with Laba's deep-rooted landowner participation and local knowledge. The joint venture represents a new benchmark for industry landowner collaboration, setting the foundation for long-term economic growth and local business development. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Now we take a look at the NASFund market report. The Kina closed lower at 0.2489 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying 0.2414 US dollars, 0.3799 Australian dollars, 0.2233 euro, 36.59 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed higher, copper closed lower, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading lower, and copper closed higher. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Dear son, you ask me how I live such a good life. Yes, I've had some good luck, like the day I met your mother. But it wasn't always that way. I've made some good choices too, like working hard and keeping my super with NASFund. They looked after it for me, which meant I could concentrate on looking after my family, living each day knowing that when the time came, I'd be ready for tomorrow. Love, Dad.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Henao, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
Time to go back to school. Is this the place to go? Please don't forget the golden rule. Is this the place to go? Hey, mums and dads, don't make a fuss. Is this the place to go? Get the school supplies from us. Is this the place to go? Everything you need for school. Is this the place to go? Be sure to keep the teacher cool. Is this the place to go? Ring, ring goes the bell.
Theatist for all your school stationery.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello better banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
Looking for something different? I have the perfect place in mind.
Oh my God.
This is your family home. Don't give up. This could be yours.
Oh, wow.
Your dream home is waiting. Go on, take a chance.
Love it or list it. 10 p.m. tonight. Right here on your number one to watch, EMTV.
Join me on House and Home for all your home and lifestyle improvements.
I'm living business, Blomindo. Okay, boss rate Blomi, kay Blomi.
From Hatok Mom, health and fitness, interest stories, gardening tips, out and about, pet care, and many more. Join me every Tuesday, 7 p.m. on your number one to watch, EMTV.
You're watching National EMTV News. Now moving to overseas news. Cleanup is continuing in Western Australia, Pilbara region, for towns impacted by ex-tropical cyclone Zilia.
As you said, floodwaters have cut off parts of the main highway that connect Port Hedland to Broome. And it's the reason why you can see behind me there are dozens of trucks parked here at an assembly point at the edge of Port Hedland, just waiting for those road closures to open so that they can head further north. And it's having an impact on the communities. We're seeing those empty shelves in supermarkets in Broome. We have heard from the major supermarkets that have said they're working closely with the state government and industry bodies to try restock those shelves as soon as possible. We've also heard from Main Roads that said resupply should happen in about 1.5 to 2 days as triple road trains take the alternative route up the middle of the country. They're going through South Australia and the Northern Territory to get to those communities like Broome, Derby and Kununurra. We've spoken to some of the truck drivers here. Some have been here all weekend sleeping in their trucks. Others that aren't even really trying to get north, but because of the delays in the freight network have been here since the system even made landfall. But it's not just Broome that has been cut off. Marble Bar further inland has also been shut, the roads connecting inwards, and Marble Bar received record rainfall due to the system. Here's some of what the coordinator of the Marble Bar Resources Centre had to say on the heavy rainfall to the roads.
I was out at the Coongan crossing this morning from Marble Bar to Hedland, and there's a sandbank 10 metres high, stretches for 100 metres right through the middle of the highway. And there is a lot of debris, a lot of pulled up tarmac. So I imagine that it's going to take some doing before we're able to cross that. I would imagine that river right now, the Coongan, is probably 120 metres wide. And it has dropped a little bit from yesterday, which is a good thing. But that road looks in terrible shape.
Now, this is not an issue for this part, not a new issue, I should say, for this part of WA. We do see weather events like this quite often, and the road network up here is so scarce that when you cut off one part of a main highway, it really quickly has impacts on the surrounding towns. And as we have seen in Broome, Derby and Kununurra, they have quickly been isolated from their essential supplies. So hopefully those communities will be reconnected soon.
Officials from US and Russia have sat to discuss the ending of the war in Ukraine.
Well, this meeting has been called by the French President Emmanuel Macron over fears that Europe is being sidelined from these peace talks to end the war in Ukraine. On the one hand, you have the US saying that Europe needs to step up and contribute more in terms of defence spending to protect Ukraine. And on the other hand, the US is saying Europe won't get a seat at the negotiating table. So to respond to all of this, European leaders are meeting for an emergency summit in Paris in Monday local time. And they're also worried about what a US-Russia deal could mean for European security, because the US is sending a delegation of White House officials to Saudi Arabia tonight, local time, to meet with Russian officials to begin these negotiations. That will include the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who says that the meeting will work out a process to end the war. And the US also says that Ukraine was invited to these talks in Riyadh, in the Saudi capital. However, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that's not the case. He hasn't been invited and he won't be going.
I know President Trump spoke to Vladimir Putin last week, and in it, Vladimir Putin expressed his interest in peace, and the president expressed his desire to see an end to this conflict in a way that was enduring and that protected Ukrainian sovereignty, and that was an enduring peace, not that we're going to have another invasion in 3 or 4 years. That's a good call. Now, obviously, it has to be followed up by action. So the next few weeks and days will determine whether it's serious or not. Ultimately, one phone call does not make peace. One phone call does not solve a war as complex as this one.
Now, while all this diplomacy has been happening in the background, the devastation is still very much continuing in Ukraine. More than 100,000 homes were without power overnight after Russian drones struck critical infrastructure in the country's south, according to Ukraine. Homes have been left without heating as temperatures there are set to plummet to negative of 10 degrees Celsius. Now, another deal we've been keeping an eye on is the fact the US says it wants something in return for the billions of dollars it's given Ukraine in support over the past nearly 3 years of war. Now, a deal has been drawn up between the US and Ukraine for the US to receive some of Ukraine's critical minerals. President Volodymyr Zelensky, however, is reportedly refusing to sign that deal until he can get some concrete security guarantees from the US.
Israel's Prime Minister says his country and the United States stand ready to open the gates of hell if Hamas does not release all Israeli hostages held in Gaza.
The new US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is making his first trip to the Middle East, a region which is feeling the shift in foreign policy from the new Trump White House. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Mr. Rubio have been eager to spruik the strength of the relationship between their two countries on a day when a shipment of US-manufactured heavy bombs blocked by the previous administration arrived in Israel. Mr. Netanyahu insisting he is on the same page as President Donald Trump on how the war in Gaza against Hamas should be handled.
We have a common strategy, and we can't always share the details of this strategy with the public, including when the gates of hell will be opened, as they surely will if all our hostages are not released.
Marco Rubio's welcome here may well have been warm, but Arab leaders are still very cold on the idea of his boss on the future of Gaza. Donald Trump wanting to take control of the Strip, permanently resettling Palestinians in neighbouring countries before rebuilding. Secretary Rubio saying that it is a bold and necessary vision.
It may have shocked and surprised many, but what cannot continue is the same cycle where we repeat over and over again and wind up in the exact same place.
Two of the countries singled out as resettlement havens for Palestinians, Jordan and Egypt, have continued to roundly reject the idea. Jordan's Crown Prince and Egypt's President meeting in Cairo to discuss alternative plans for rebuilding Gaza. And despite the ceasefire in Gaza seemingly holding, Israel has launched strikes in the Strip. 3 policemen killed in the south, who the Hamas-run Interior Ministry said were securing aid convoys. Israel saying it targeted armed individuals moving towards Israeli forces. It's another example of just how fragile this truce is and the types of challenges facing mediators as they try to extend it. The current deal lapses on the 2nd of March and talks on the future on Phase 2 are expected to ramp up this week. Benjamin Netanyahu convening a meeting of his security cabinet on Monday night, local time. That deadline looming just 2 weeks away.
While the Trump administration has been upending international politics at home, tens and thousands of workers have lost their jobs.
Stand up for your rights! Stand up and fight!
In the US government hub of Washington, D.C., anger is being directed at the president, but also his high-profile employee, Elon Musk.
He's not a politician. He wasn't voted in, and I think Trump is laying down and letting him take control of everything, and that's bad for the country.
The Tesla CEO leads the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, tasked with slashing government spending.
So we've got a $2 trillion deficit. And if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt.
The Trump administration has sought to cut tens of thousands of jobs and dismantle some agencies, also scrapping diversity, equity and inclusion programs.
Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
The president argues DEI, or DEIA as it's known, is discriminatory, a claim rejected by a former senior diversity officer in Joe Biden's administration.
It's the misconception that DEIA equals Black American. It's also this idea that DEIA initiatives take away from one demographic or ethnic group and gives to another that did not earn it.
Donald Trump argues he's been given a mandate by American voters, but some of his executive orders are testing the limits of presidential powers, prompting a flurry of legal challenges.
The president has previously insisted he'll abide by the courts, but he's attracted controversy with a social media post appearing to echo Napoleon Bonaparte. He who saves his country does not violate any law.
Anytime President Trump does anything, they call it a constitutional crisis. Look, that's swamp talk. President Trump ran to drain the swamp. That's what he's doing.
Setting up a political clash over how far he'll seek to go.
National EMTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Accept the challenge. Choose PNG's favorite purified bottled water. True Wara, 100% PNG made.
Proudly bottled by Paradise Foods.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennell, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always Trukai. Trukai, true inspiration through generations.
Dear son, you ask me how I live such a good life. Yes, I've had some good luck, like the day I met your mother. But it wasn't always that way. I've made some good choices too, like working hard and keeping my super with NASFAN. They looked after it for me, which meant I could concentrate on looking after my family. Living each day, knowing that when the time came, I'd be ready for tomorrow. Love, Dad.
At IPI Catering, we understand the intricacies of the environments in which we work, providing innovative, fresh and creative catering solutions. Our experience and commitment is a winning combination, delivering great food anywhere and anytime. IPI Catering, part of the IPI group of companies.
More than the life we've known, there is more to what the future holds. You me holy man, no walk one time. Oh, 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 oh. We dare to believe in incredible things. Oh, 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 oh. With money plus we're ready to go.
EMTV News A Closer Look returns for 2025, the current affairs program that brings to you weekly insights for the latest on education, health, business, politics,
I just want to make that clear.
sports, and more. A Closer Look, every Sunday at 7 p.m. on your number one to watch, EMTV.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Successfully executed the Women's Conference Soccer League Grand Final over the weekend. PNG Football Association President John Capinato commended teams and their officials.
Acknowledging the players and officials of the four conferences, PNGFA President John Capinato challenged the technical officials.
Women's football, only 3 years now. It must get better. From last week we look in Tupla region, he can play, and Tupla are working good. Only Northern and Southern Tupla all the time become the finals. Maybe put him lick, but heavy lomi too, the grievance lomi. Why also Tupla region, come on same level as Northern and Southern.
He further emphasized stating the importance of development.
It's a challenge and staff from all technical people from Ibla, one-time secretary office, to do a lot of work. The last 20 years, Ibla developing took place. Only Northern and Southern took the grand final. Vision, look, Ibla also, New Guinea Islands, the Highlands, must come up very strong of football, or women's football, even men's football too. So this is a challenge now, we lose similar technical, all gonna line up like a secretary in office, to walk strong out, lift him up instead of Almeri, Northern, Almeri, New Guinea Islands, the Highlands region one time.
Jonathan Sibona, Trukai Sports.
A host of PNG's rising talents have signed contracts to train with Papua New Guinea National Sporting Institute under their athlete development program. The program places emphasis on education and training, ensuring that the athletes have something to fall back on. Head coach Mike Smith stressed that athletes must abide by core values of the program, which will be useful in the community after completing the program. The Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee successfully hosted its special annual General Assembly at the Grand Papua Hotel in Port Moresby.
The event brought together national sports federations, reflecting PNG's OC commitment to transparency, integrity and strong governance. The purpose of calling together the special AJ was for a replacement of the current auditor for PNG OC and its appointment of the new, ensuring continued financial accountability and reinforcing PNG OC's dedication to maintaining the highest standards of financial oversight. The strategic move demonstrates the organization's proactive approach to safeguarding trust and credibility among all sports. The Assembly also set the date for the next meeting on Saturday, June 21st, allowing members to stay aligned on governance priorities. Following the formal proceedings, attendees engage in collaborative discussions, encouraging stronger partnerships and open dialogue for future initiatives. As PNGOC continues to lead with integrity and excellence, PNGOC remains committed to inspiring and uniting Papua New Guinea through sporting success. PNGOC also thanked partners Coral Sea Hotels for providing venue and exceptional service. Jonathan Sibona, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello better banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
It's time to go back to school. Is this the place to go? Please don't forget the golden rule. Is this the place to go? Hey, mums and dads, don't make a fuss. Is this the place to go? Get the school supplies from us. Is this the place to go? Everything you need for school. Is this the place to go? Be sure to keep the teacher cool. Is this the place to go? Ring, ring goes the bell.
Theatist for all your school stations.
Hi kids, I'm Steffi. Join me on Kids Corner for story time, simple and creative arts and crafts, career corner, nature time, field trips, and not forgetting our cartoons and children entertainment shows. Join me every weekdays from 3:30 to 5:30 for Kids Corner on your number one to watch, EMTV.
There are existence of clandestine laboratories illicitly producing crystal meth.
Tonight at 7, we hold discussions with the National Narcotics Bureau.
That is being interdicted by the police in Port Moresby and Ley. So, as we are commonly saying, there is a growing consumer base that is developing.
That's on tonight.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Henel, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
You're watching Chukai Sports. Now moving to overseas sports. Australia will be the home of Live Golf for some time to come, and the final day of this year's event has certainly lived up to its highest peak.
Now, we should give a mention to local Cam Smith, who always just buys into Live Golf in Adelaide. He loves entertaining the crowd, but it was the Chilean celebrating at the end of the day. He shot a spectacular 7 under par 65, snatching the lead late to win by 3 strokes with Mexican Abraham Ancer. He just stumbled on the final few holes, so went right down to the wire. As I said earlier, the South Australian government has done a deal with Live Golf, and it means that the tournament will remain in Adelaide until at least 2031. They're certainly doing a very good job of hosting the event, but here's what the winner had to say after his very successful final day.
Out of that game rhythm, because you never know what could happen on the last one, but yeah, now I feel that relief, and you know, it feels awesome.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix has pulled off a massive comeback win against the Adelaide 36ers to book a semi-final spot against the Illawarra Hawks.
To put this in context, the 36ers were completely in control of this sudden death clash. They looked like they were on their way to the semis. They led by 19 at halftime, but then in the second half, they completely capitulated. So the Phoenix ended up winning this one, 85 points to 75. And as you can imagine, one coach was very happy, the other not so much.
Really happy for the players, for the staff, and for the club, because they deserve to be in this position.
Unfortunately, a mini version of our whole year.
In English Premier League, the pressure has eased after a 1-0 win over Manchester United. That ends Chukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Henel, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
Dear son, you ask me how I live such a good life. Yes, I've had some good luck, like the day I met your mother. But it wasn't always that way. I've made some good choices too, like working hard and keeping my super with NASFAN. They looked after it for me, which meant I could concentrate on looking after my family. Living each day, knowing that when the time came, I'd be ready for tomorrow. Love, Dad.
Start your day the smart way with the new Smart Start Breakfast Biscuit. Whether you are busy or on a budget, Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits gives you a healthy and affordable breakfast to set you up for school or play. Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits are fortified with essential vitamins for body or brain health. They contain vitamin A for healthy growth and development, vitamin B6 for healthy metabolism, immune system and brain development, and vitamin B12 for nerve and cell health. Proudly made by Paradise Foods.
when circumstances aren't quite what they seem.
I'm the boss now.
2 sisters,
Got a sister? It's our sister, Dad's second marriage.
both determined to do what they think is right.
Say you only want to sell up a bit of the place. Which bit do you want to sacrifice? Couldn't sell the place out from under you.
Find that sometimes you have to feel a little lost before you can find your way home.
Please, Claire, what can I do? Getting dressed might be a start.
Matt Lord's Daughter, 8 p.m. Tuesday, right here on number 1 to watch, EMTV.
Join me every Thursday night as Sporting brings to you all the local and international sporting updates. Revisiting our legendary athletes,
Hi, this is David.
highlighting our local sports developments across the nation,
Always on top of them. Now an NRL team based here.
Create a pathway.
and our talented rising stars.
Hi, my name's Gemma Schnobel and you're watching
All the younger ones should follow.
Sporting, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. only on your number 1 to watch, EMTV.
Dreaming for more than the life we've known. There is more to what the future holds. You need holy man to walk one time. Oh, 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 oh. We dare to believe in incredible things. Oh, 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 oh. With money plus we're ready to go.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
The MoneyPlus weather report for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby City mostly fine, Daru partly cloudy with brief evening showers, Kerama partly cloudy with possible brief showers, Alotau partly cloudy, and Popondata cloudy periods with few showers. In the Momase region, Lei City partly cloudy, Medeng partly cloudy with few showers, Wewak partly cloudy with brief showers, and Vanimo partly cloudy with brief showers. In the New Guinea Highlands region, Lorengau partly cloudy with possible brief showers, Kavieng mostly fine, Kokopo and Rabaul partly cloudy, Kimbe partly cloudy with brief showers, and Buka mostly fine. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City cloudy periods with rain showers and thunderstorms, Goroka, Bands and Kundiyawa partly cloudy with brief evening showers, and Mendi, Tari and Wabeg partly cloudy with brief evening showers.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Monday, the 17th of February 2025. From all of us here, pleasant viewing and good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.
It's Smile O'Clock. It's Smile O'Clock. Gotta brush our teeth. Time o'clock. It's Smile O'Clock. Smile O'Clock. Time o'clock. So brush, brush, brush. Everybody is up, up, up. Everybody now brush, brush, brush.
Coming up next.